All right, Saints fans, obviously we got some big news this weekend. Derek Carr announced officially that he is retiring from the NFL after 11 seasons. So we're going to talk about that in a second. But before we get into that, I just want to let you know I did forget to bring a mic again. This one is not connected to the camera, it's just kind of for show. Um, so I will have that next time, hopefully. But, anyways, today we're going to talk about Carr. We're going to talk about the future of the Saints. It'll be quick. We're going to talk about my personal thoughts on the situation. Again, it'll be a quick little episode. I just got to get it out there. It's been a couple days. And we've got a big day coming up soon with the schedule release. A lot of content coming with that. And so let's just jump right into it. My thoughts on the Carr situation. First and foremost, I just want to say it's a win-win for both sides, for Carr, for the Saints. Obviously getting to retire from the NFL with relatively great health, your health good, and he made probably like almost 200 million, I believe, in his 11 years in the NFL. Obviously, things didn't pan out in New Orleans, and things never were really great with the Raiders. But to be a starter in the NFL for that long, over 10 years, takes a certain level of talent that he did possess, and so congrats to him. Obviously, there's times where guys get brought to a team or signed or drafted by a team, and it just doesn't pan out the way that you anticipate it to. And Carr wasn't the short term or the long term answer for the Saints. Things didn't work out, but I'm glad that he can spend quality time with his family, that he retired and had a successful career, getting to live out his dream. Now we'll talk about Carr and his kind of accolades for a second. So he retires after 11 seasons. He played 9 with the Raiders and finished his career with 2 seasons in New Orleans. 4 Pro Bowl selections, over 41,000 passing yards, 41,245 to be exact. 257 touchdowns, 112 interceptions, and unfortunately, in all that time, 0 playoff wins. So we'll talk about what this means for the Saints and for their future. Who's going to be the quarterback? What does it look like long term for the Saints? We'll kind of talk about that now. So let's talk about the money first. So Derek Carr does get to keep the signing bonus money, which is $10 million. That comes from the restructure of his contract this offseason. The rest, thanks to Carr and his generosity, will go back to New Orleans, which is $30 million. So he pretty much gave the Saints $30 million back. His dead money cap hit over the next 2 seasons is going to be about $13 million in 2025, and then about $35 million in 2026, which is definitely better than what it was going to be. So I say that is a big win. Now, as far as the quarterback room for New Orleans goes, obviously right now it's kind of a hot mess. Looking from the outside in, obviously it's kind of like a laughingstock right now. I do think if I were to bet, I would say Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler will battle it out for QB1. I think through training camp we'll see who the better option is come week 1 of the NFL season this year, and my guess is Tyler Shuck will probably be thrown in there for week 1. We'll see how that goes. Now there's speculation that I'm going to address. There's speculation about a guy named Aaron Rodgers, and let's talk about it. A name like Aaron Rodgers holds a lot of weight, right? So I can see why there's speculation. I can see why people are saying the Saints should sign a veteran like. Sorry, I don't know what that was. I can see why why people are saying the Saints should sign a veteran like Rodgers or Cousins or hit up Joe Flacco, something like that. I'll say this though. I think to get a guy like Rodgers, assuming he plays like Aaron Rodgers, I think you have to have a win-ready team. I don't think the Saints are anywhere near a win or a win-now team. I don't think the Saints are in win-now mode, and so I don't see a reason why the Saints should go after an older guy, especially a guy as old as Aaron Rodgers. I think that we need to, take advantage of our youth and stick with that youth. I think the Saints. I think they got to see. I mean, time will tell, but I think they got to see how things work out with our current quarterback room. And if things don't work out, we draft. We draft young, and we draft for the future. Young coaching, new coaching, everything is kind of refreshing in New Orleans. And I don't see why we would bring in a guy that's, I mean, really as old as dirt in NFL terms, like Rodgers, when we just don't have a roster that is ready to win now. So I think the Saints will stick with Shuck and Rattler battling it out for this offseason. I think come week one, it'll be one of them two. And we'll see how that kind of plays out. Good offensive line for both of them, especially when healthy. New coaching, good coaching. Obviously, Kellen Moore comes from the Eagles, who just won the Super Bowl. He's quarterback guru. I think there's a lot of potential. I would at least say more potential than what people are, claiming the Saints to have. I think either way, I'm happy. I'm happy that we get to see something new, something refreshing. I think after a couple years of, seeing the same thing, happen over and over and over, the same mistakes, same quarterback, the same bad play. I think whether you're expecting something good or something very bad or somewhere in the middle, I think no matter what, I think we should be happy that we get to see something new, and there's a chance at, really hitting some gold, striking some gold here. So I'm excited about, I'm excited for Carr, but I'm also excited that we get to move on from Carr and see something different. I think the future could be bright, but I think it's going to take at least a couple years, at least 2 years, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, before the Saints are back to win now form. So we'll kind of see, but I kind of want to squash that Aaron Rodgers, the rumors of him, coming and the Saints being interested in him. I just don't see the Saints making a move like that. I think we kind of all were already anticipating Carr not being ready to play by week one or this season at all anyways. And so NFL fans are kind of like, oh, you're forced to have Shuck as your QB1. But I think the plan of drafting quarterback all along was planning for, things not working out with Carr. We kind of didn't know where his relationship stood with the Saints. We kind of didn't know much about his injury until he spoke publicly about it at his church. And so I was already ready to see Shuck or Rattler week one. And I think that's what we should be anticipating. I think that's what we should be getting ready for, is one of those two being the guys. So that's that. I kind of just had to address Carr retiring, obviously. Get this quick video out there. Told you it wouldn't be long. But at the time of this recording, it's May 12th. In 2 days, we got the official schedule release. So be tuned in on Santa Island, on Instagram. On Instagram, I'll be posting leaks. I'll probably have the official schedule out and released on there before the actual release from the NFL. And then we'll probably do some content on predictions, season predictions, record, and all that here on YouTube. I'll do some way too early predictions here on Instagram. So excited. I don't know if excited's the word, because I don't expect too many wins out of us this season, but I'm excited to see the schedule. I think who we play matters, but when we play them and where and at what time of the year matters a bit more. So I'm excited to start seeing some of those leaks, which I anticipate, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday morning we'll be getting a lot of those. So stay tuned for that. But other than that, that's all I got for today. So be looking for a video in the next couple days, and I will see you guys soon in the next one.